What's up, my people? Welcome to the Mind Pursuit podcast. I'm your host, Masin Zuki, the Mind Advocate. And we are still in the Mind Advocate's Corner segment, whereby I get to respond to some of the questions that you have. And today I want to highlight questions around self-care and lifestyle. So what is self-care? Self-care is showing up for yourself, prioritizing yourself, showing up for yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, socially. So how do you show up for yourself? How do you love on you? Something we call self-love. Self-love is part of self-care. So what do you do to love on yourself? Very important. Yeah. A question on what does healthy self-care look like for modern adults? I've just highlighted. Showing up for yourself holistically. So how you show up for yourself mentally is even looking at what is it that is going through your mind, and are you able to replenish yourself mentally? Are you able to read books, things that challenge you, things that soothe your mind? What are you doing to show up for yourself? Do you know, even sleeping, taking a nap when you feel like your mind is too crowded is part of self-care. How do you show up for yourself emotionally? In actual sense, doing something that makes you feel happy, feel at peace. What do you do? How do you show up for yourself physically? Do you take yourself out? Do you go and buy yourself something nice? How do you show up for yourself socially? Do you have relations with people? And how do you show up for yourself spiritually? How is your relationship with God? Do you have a relationship with God? That is self-care. So self-care does not have to be expensive. Every time I hear people talking about self-care, they always attach it to cost. Oh, I don't have money, so I can't take care of myself. No. Imagine you can actually take care of yourself by ensuring you have habits that take care of your mental wellness, your emotions, your physical well-being, your social well-being, your spiritual well-being. Something that takes care of you holistically. Yeah, so that's what self-care is. I hope I've answered that question. Then, how do I start a self-care routine that works for me? So how you start a self-care routine that works for you is, first of all, you need to understand yourself. A wise man once said, a man who knows others is knowledgeable, a man who understands others is knowledgeable, but a man who understands himself is wise. So you need to take time to understand yourself. And the only way you can do that is having some time off to understand your thoughts, your emotions. Who are you as a person? What makes you feel alive? So spend time with you to get to understand what makes you tick. So there's no blanket way of conducting self-care for all of us. There's what can work well with you. So is it running? Is it jogging? Is it listening to music? Is it journaling? Is it what is it that works for you? You need to identify that. Yeah. So stay with yourself, something we call mindfulness, and that is what I can give you as a starter. Stay with yourself, get to understand what is it that makes you happy. And then from what makes you happy, come up with a plan. What can you be able to do so that you're consistently happy? If going out with friends makes you happy, how can you be intentional about setting out time, sparing time for you to go and meet up with your friends so that at least you become happy? If it is listening to music, if it is watching a movie, can you be able to do that? And what sort of movie do you watch for you to be happy and feel replenished? So that's where you can start from. Then, why do I feel guilty when I rest? That's a very, very good question that most of us struggle with, especially if you're workaholic, you love work, you're work oriented compared to people oriented. Yeah. So do you take rest as being idle? How do you define rest? And let me tell you, rest according to the word of God, rest is sacred, because after Jesus had created the entire world, on the seventh day, he rested. Christ values rest. Rest is sacred. So what is it that is making you feel guilty about resting? Maybe we should start from there. Do you feel like you're wasting time? If you feel like you're wasting time, what is it that is causing you to feel like you're wasting time when you're taking some time off to just relax? So you need to take time to introspect and think through what is leading to this. And just taking us back to a cycle that I had introduced, the self-care cycle that I had introduced in my previous episode. Notice, name, and nurture. So notice what is causing you to feel guilty. Then put a name on it. Then nurture. Nurture is now coming up with a plan that will help you in terms of, even when you're resting, you don't feel guilty. Because at the end of the day, imagine if you don't rest, you will not be as productive. So you need to nurture those positive thoughts towards rest. Rest is important. Rest helps you recuperate. Rest helps you to become more productive. These are some of the things that you need to tell yourself so that you can prioritize rest. So I hope I have responded to that question. What are small habits that can improve my mental wellness instantly? Small habits that can improve my mental wellness instantly. One of the small habits is prioritizing. First of all, you cannot prioritize if you've not planned. So let's start with planning. So have a plan for your day. What is it that you intend to accomplish in that particular day? What is it that you intend to accomplish in that during that week, during that month? So prioritization is very key. And in prioritization, it helps you to notice what is important and what is urgent. And we say take heed to what is important and not what is urgent. So prioritizing is very key. The other thing is journaling, writing down your thoughts and your feelings. Journaling is also very key. So it will help you to sort of gain clarity in what is happening within you. So those are topmost things that I can be able to pick for you to just help you in terms of your mental wellness. How do I set boundaries without feeling selfish? But this self-care is not selfish. So how do you set boundaries? And setting boundaries is part of self-care. If you realize you are with people who are making you feel bad, sad, irritable, how do you create boundaries? How do you set boundaries? So boundary setting is part of self-care. So this is an individual who is feeling as if they're battling setting boundaries and feeling like they don't want to feel selfish. Yeah. So what you can do is realize, first of all, by you setting boundaries, you are actually taking care of yourself. And you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself so that you can better take care of the other people around you. So it comes back to challenging the thoughts, the negative thoughts that you have towards self-care. What is causing you to feel that you're being selfish? You start by there. Then now, challenging those thoughts. By saying you show up better for other people when you prioritize yourself first and show up for yourself. So that's one thing that I'm going to leave you with. And I hope that all of us are going to practice self-care. It's very, very important. Yeah. It helps you to replenish yourself because you don't want to run. You don't want to be drained, to feel drained. You want to show up fully for the people you love. You want to show up fully for even the workspace that you're in. Yeah. So all I can ask you to do is take care of yourself. There were questions that were there in line with workplace. And there's one person who asked, how do I manage workplace stress effectively? One is to ask yourself, the workplace stress, is it within your circle of concern? Is it within your circle of influence, or is it within your circle of control? Where does it lie? And just to remind us what these circles means is a circle of concern. These are things that you have absolute no control over, like COVID-19, like traffic jam. Something that you're not able to. In the workplace is the policies that govern the workplace. You have absolute no control over. You have to abide by the policies that within that particular workplace. Circle of influence is things that you're not the decision maker, somebody else. Like now in the workplace setup, maybe it's the manager, your boss, your immediate boss, your manager, your director, who is the one, the ultimate decision maker. So what you need to do is to either have conversations with them so that they can be able to gravitate towards your favor. Yeah. To ensure that you are experiencing a conducive work environment that best works for you. So that's circle of influence. Circle of control, these are things that you have absolute control over. You're the decision maker. So in the workplace, if this stress is internal, and I've seen a question around imposter syndrome, if this stress is internal, then how can I be able to affirm myself so that I can move from struggling with imposter syndrome, feeling less of a person, feeling less worthy to be part of that particular workplace? So you need to identify, where is this stress coming from? Is it within or is it without? Because we have internal stressors and external stressors. Yeah. External stressors are the workplace stressors. Nasikianga watu wakiniambia, people telling me, oh Mercy, I'm in such a toxic workplace. Define it. Notice, name it, and nurture it. So noticing, after you've noticed, define what it is. Yeah. So that's how you manage that stress. So which circle is it? Which circle does it fall? And if it is within a circle of control, do you need to speak to a therapist to guide you through? Do you need to talk to a loved one? Share, vent out what is happening, because it helps instead of piling it in. Because when you pile it in, you're not helping yourself. Why am I saying you're not helping yourself? Because at the end of the day, your brain has to maintain a balance. If that balance is not there, it will act biologically. That's why when you're going through stress and you're not addressing it, you begin to experience headaches, stomach aches, and when you go to hospital, nothing is seen. Because mental health struggles are intangible. We cannot see them. Identify where they are at and act accordingly, depending with which circle it falls on. Why do I feel like an imposter at work? That's a good question. What is making you feel like an imposter at work? You need to find out. And after you found out, so I'm taking you back to yourself, this question, back to yourself, to just find out, what is it that is causing you to feel that way? For how long have you been feeling that way? Then now, seek support so that you can be able to better navigate that, right? Yeah, so then there's another question around, how do I handle toxic workplace environment? I will really encourage you to share with even the HR so that you can be able to get support, because let me tell you, a toxic workplace can really contribute to your mental health and well-being. Like, it can really contribute to you experiencing mental health struggles. So you need to have a conversation with the HR and see how can you be able to have a conducive environment for you. What are signs I need a mental health break? When you feel you are experiencing burnout. And what is burnout? Burnout is is psychological and emotional exhaustion that comes from working. So if you're experiencing that to a point where you don't even feel like working, you're just too exhausted, fatigued, then that tells you need to take a break. If you no longer have the zeal to work, then it tells you you need to take a break. Can you be able to apply for annual leave? Just take some time out and just be in the moment. Reach out to go through therapy. This will go a long way. So I hope that I've shared insight into how you can be able to navigate your life within the workspace. And I hope that you will continue learning. Feel free to ask the questions below in case you have any space that you need clarity, anything that I've shared that you feel like you need further clarity. Feel free to ask your question and I'll be for sure ready to respond to them. So I hope you enjoy your time, and remember to subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.